one who maybe has learned a few manners. Do you have manners? Say only when I feel like it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweetie kitty.
Oh, wow. That was totally unexpected. Anyway.
Yeah. See, now, it's funny because Fiona has a similar coat. I think it's almost like they have a double coat. So they have an underlayer of this very soft fur that you're releasing as you
Massage
pet her.
Yeah.
Where Eloise just has the long hairs.
Oh, so she's like a long-haired tabby.
Well, she's not really long hair, but she doesn't have that thick undercoat.
Oh,
And I don't know if it's
Yeah,
if it's just breed specific or color specific.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Like, I adopted my kitty too, and she's just been like this.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fur.
Yeah, they do have a lot, especially in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I do know people who shave their cats down.
Oh.
You know,
Even if it's not like a Sphinx or something?
yeah. Well, my sister used to shave down Mr. Marty, who was the Maine Coon.
Yes, I remember
And
him.
they would, they leave a ruff on the head and a little bit on the paws and, of course, the rump and the tail. So he looked to me like an African dancer, you know, when you see them in costumes where they have these long, lithe bodies, but there are usually things on their ankles and like a ruff or a headdress, and that was Mr. Marty. But he loved getting his summer shave. And you would see him walk, and then he'd start to settle on the floor, and then he'd sort of stop at the point where his coat would normally start hitting the floor, realize he could keep going, and he'd go down and just sort of like spread himself out on the cool floor. He just loved it. So he looked very funny, but he didn't mind being shaved once after the initial shock.
And how old is their new cat, Phaedra?
Phaedra we figure she's about almost 2.
Oh, that's young.
Yeah, she's a young kitty. So she's still doing a lot of playing and a lot of
She's kitten mannerisms.
yeah, kitty manners. She's a good girl. Are you a good?
So yeah, do you have any funny incidents that you want to share about Eloise? Anything cute, funny that she does?
Well, I have a computer table that has, you know, I've put, because of the way it's shaped, I've stored stuff in the back. So there's some bins. And when I first got her, I'm looking around and I cannot find Eloise. And I'm calling and I'm looking. And she appears from under the table. She had hidden sort of behind the bins. And of course, once I knew that she was there, I could look for her there. But there was that, I don't think it was funny. It was that moment of panic of, oh no, the kitty's fallen out of the window.
Oh.
But I also, being a little bit, I call it being a nervous mom. So if I leave the windows open for them, I'll take some of those expanding screens and put them in the window so that there's like a double barrier. They still get some fresh air, but I feel I'm a little less nervous about them breaking through the screen because I'm on the second floor.
Oh, okay.
I did have, before we had our roof done, we had squirrels in under the eaves. And I look up one time and there was a stupid baby squirrel crawling up the screen on the window, and the cats are like, ooh, you know, really excited by it and really focused on this silly squirrel stuck in the screen because, of course, its claws were getting into the grid there.
Yeah.
But they didn't, I would thought they would like maybe bat at it or something. Nope, they just sat there and looked. And cats do this funny, I call it a chittering noise, like or something. I don't know, I can't make kitty noises.
Does she do that?
Well, they did it at that. It's like a pre-hunting sound.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But they didn't actually hunt the squirrel.
No, because I think they realized the squirrel was outside and they were inside, but they were sitting there hoping that maybe somehow the squirrel would get inside.
Oh, not having fun.
No.
Yeah, they would have not attacked each other for a change. Team up and gang on the squirrel.
Yeah, poor squirrel. Not really. Didn't belong there. And then they went away once we had the roof fixed.
And how do you groom Eloise? She's Got a very shiny coat.
Yeah. Well, the
Very
the shiny is partly because she's getting good nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, you get these little slicker brushes that have all those little pointy wire things sticking out, and I will just brush her with that, and she loves it. She really does. She's more cooperative
Nice.
than most cats, because I'll lay her on her side and I'll brush one side, and she just lies there. And then I can actually roll her over to the other side and do that one.
Nice.
As I said, we spent, in the heat especially, I wanted to get as much excess fur off of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, at one point when it was really hot, I took washcloths and wet them down and wrung them out, and I draped them. I did one over Fiona and one over Eloise. And at first they didn't like it because, of course, it was wet. But then they realized it actually made them feel a little cooler.
Nice.
So they let me do that a little bit, because I was a little worried about, I don't have air conditioning, so I was worried they would get too hot and I would come home and find melted kitties.
Mm. So do you give them baths also in the summer?
No. I mean, I have bathed cats, and it can be quite an operation, and I figure
Right.
I'm not going to subject them or me to that sort of process. If I had if I had two people, so that one person could hold the cat down, and then I could, you know, do a quick lather, and usually I used to line up a couple of big containers with water in them, warm water, not hot, to rinse them off quickly. But they don't like the sound of running water, and of course they hate getting wet.
I know.
No, if it was really hot, I might consider wetting them down, but they weren't doing the sort of panting, looking really uncomfortable that would lead me to do that. So no, I haven't bathed. It's been a long time since I've given a cat a bath.
Oh, wow. Well, they wash themselves like a million times.
Yeah,
if you
well,
watch.
that, and if they're brushed, the other nice thing is, if they're brushed, they usually don't hack up as many hairballs.
Oh, that's good.